The variety and quality of seafood on offer in Edinburgh has always attracted visitors, and there is a small reminder of this connection in the archives of the National Library of Scotland. In Victorian times, one Mrs. Foot Gower visited Edinburgh and kept a diary of her travels, now kept preserved in the archives of the National Library of Scotland. As well as Princes Street Gardens and the John Knox House, she mentions another memorable Edinburgh sight: the fishwives selling the day's catch from creels carried on their backs. It was their dress and calls that caught the attention of Mrs. Foot Gower, and other visitors too. One writer described the typical New Haven fishwife with the heavy fish basket at her back, hardly stooping her broad shoulders, her florid face sheltered and softened into something like delicacy by the transparent shadow of the white handkerchief tied hoodwise over her fair hair, and her shrill, sweet voice calling, "Call her Haddie," all the way she went in the melancholy monotone that resounds through the thoroughfares of Edinburgh. The men fished. The women baited lines and mended nets, cleaned and dried the catch, and climbed the hill to Edinburgh to hawk haddock, herring, cod, and shellfish. But of all the fruits of the sea, it was oysters that Edinburgh was truly famous for. The Firth of Forth was once famed for its oyster beds, which provided such a bountiful supply for the city that they were eaten as cheap snack food. It was even said that Edinburgh folk could chomp their way through 100,000 per day. If you look closely at many historic buildings in the old town, you can still see the remnants of this popular snack. There are many oyster shells embedded in the walls, used by the masons as a handy way of packing joints in the stonework. In the 1700s, there were even oyster cellars, a form of entertainment peculiar to Edinburgh. An English visitor once described the scene at one of these basement parties as a large and brilliant company of both sexes, with a large table in the centre, covered with dishes full of oysters and pots of porter, all followed by a large bowl of punch and some wild dancing. The visitor found it odd to be regaling in a cellar, but was impressed at the cost, a mere 2 shillings a head. Today, visitors can still enjoy the best seafood at the award-winning Undines in the heart of Edinburgh's Old Town, run by chef-patron Roy Brett. The restaurant offers a Scottish seafood experience to remember, the finest seafood and shellfish from the east coast of Scotland and beyond. At Undine, you can roll up your sleeves and enjoy simple fish and chips, or indulge in a grand seafood platter. The emphasis is on the fishermen, who provide the freshest and most sustainable produce, which Undine celebrates with knowledgeable yet satisfying cooking.